What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary reaction video. Let's go.
Our first guests are NBA legends. Their rivalry forever changed the game of basketball. Their relationship is the focus of a new Broadway play entitled Magic Bird, which
Broadway play entitled Magic Bird.
opened earlier tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Larry Bird and Irvin Magic Johnson.
Clap it up for the legends, man. Look at him. Look at him. Give him credit when he's due. Yes, indeed. Let me get the music. Let me get the music there. Wrap it up, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I saw the documentary the two of you did, and I guess it was produced by HBO. I'm right about that. I found it compelling. I found it moving. I found so much humanity in the production, and it stayed with me for quite some time. Now, you guys lived those lives. When you saw the documentary, did you have the same feelings, or was it just, oh yeah, that's us, that's what we did?
Yeah, they did a great job of capturing our feelings and how we feel about one another, but it's really all about the competition. I mean, even today, if we could do something to compete against one another, I still like to do that.
Yeah.
That's Larry Bird, man. You're always going to compete. Even if they're not playing a sport no more, the work ethic and the mentality stays there, so it will be carried over to other things, obviously, business, you know. And that's how Magic Johnson always been, laughing, you know, smiling.
Magic, you feel the same way?
Oh, I feel exactly the same way. I wish we could compete against each other right now.
Well, you know what you could do is you can go out and buy a baseball team now.
That is true. That's a flex. That's a braggadocious statement right there.
There you go.
I thought about buying the Cardinals, but after finding out, I found out Urban paid over $2 billion for the Dodgers. I know the Cardinals are worth at least $500 billion. That's a little bit much.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. When you guys knew each other earlier, you know, everybody knows about the NCAA championship game, 1979. Do I have that date right? But you guys actually played as in some sort of, was it an amateur summer tournament or like that? Where was that? When was that?
Well, it was in Kentucky, and
Of course it was in Kentucky. Come on now.
time probably in both our lives that we actually sat on the bench. And I don't think neither one of us liked that at all. But because we were on the bench, David, and we got a chance to play against the starters every day and at nighttime at practice. And Larry and I were so upset we took it out on the starters. Right. So we beat them.
You gotta take it out somewhere, man. Sportsmanship got to show somewhere, but it all geared to being great individuals that they are today, legends, and that's self-explanatory within its own with the accolades and the way they moved the game of basketball and basically brought value to the NBA in this golden era to make the NBA what it was then and what it is now.
Every single day, right? But Larry was a special cat because it proved to me this man could really play basketball. I'd heard about him, but I never saw him play live and in person, and he was incredible. I mean, he dominated, and that's what it's all about. So I went back home telling everybody, oh, this Larry Bird guy is for real.
Right. But you guys were kids then. I mean, you're a little older than Magic, but you were, what, 17, 18, 19 in that range right in there when that happened?
I think I was 19.
Yeah.
19 or 20, and you probably 18 or 19.
Yeah. And you were, from the beginning, and correct me if I get any of this wrong, because it's your life, and, well, you guys ought to know. Magic, were you inclined early on to become friends with this guy because you were drawn to him because of his basketball abilities? Did you want to be friends with him from the beginning?
From the beginning, I wanted to be friends, but
I remember this, but I feel like, look, Bird was focused. He was competitive, you know. At the end, I feel like Bird mindset was basically, I'm competing right now. I'm not trying to get complacent. We can do all that friends, buddy guy stuff later on if that happens to be the possibility. Comment down below, family. Do you believe that? But when you in the zone and you locked in like that and you got that hunger for greatness, yeah, you ain't trying to hear about no friendship. You know what I'm saying? That's like a distraction to a person that's seeking greatness. That's like a distraction.
I didn't want none of that. You know, and so, you know, and so I said, okay, if that's how it's going to be, then we have to be like that. Then, that's right. So I started disliking him too. Then, you know, so, but, you know, he told me that, you know, I smiled all the time, and he knew that I will smile at you, but I want to cut your heart out at the same time. So he knew that was part of my strategy, is to lure him in as my friend.
And also get in his head.
Didn't want to demonstrate any weakness by becoming your friend. Now, did you feel what his advances to being a friend, and you just rejected them? You were not interested. You didn't like him. I mean, what was your side of that?
It's not like one of my old girlfriends, you know. I mean,
He said it's not like one old girlfriends.
when you say advances, I get a little scared. But you know, my thing was when you compete, you're really not friends. You want to keep an edge. And I was like that.
I told you want to keep an edge. Yeah.
School and through college, but Irvin is an outgoing guy. He loves everybody. He wants to high five, and you know, he got that big smile. My goal was to try to take 3 of them teeth home with me.
Hey man, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. It's just like, man, just imagine somebody beat you in the NCAA championship, and you over here, you see this man consistently, and now in the NBA with this big mouth with these big teeth, just smiling like Chuck E. Cheese or something, Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying?
Two different
When they're
You know what I'm saying? And you had an edge, and you got to remember, when you're seeking greatness and someone defeated you, you trying to be better.
perspective. It's interesting because Indiana, Michigan, same generation of basketball, similar players, identical players, similar ideology about playing. Anything to do with the Midwest or the times that you guys came from?
I think it's the Midwest, and I think when you think about Indiana high school basketball, I mean, everybody says it's the best. You think about Michigan, we're right there with Indiana, and how we were taught to play the game, both Larry and I, and then the way we wanted to play the game as individuals. And so we're mirrors of each other. I may smile a little bit more, but the way we played the game of basketball was exactly the same, because we would do anything to win. We didn't care about scoring points. We cared about winning the game and making our team.
And there goes another question. Comment down below, family. Do you believe that the NBA now has geared away from that, like player-wise in the NBA? Have they geared more to just chucking up threes and scoring and being a scorer? Sound like Michael Jordan a little bit. You know how they did say that Michael Jordan was just only the ability to be a scorer, nothing else, not a complete player. Do you feel like nowadays the NBA gear more to just scoring versus doing anything to win as collectively as a team? Comment down below. I feel like they have, and I feel like no discredit to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, but and they say Larry Bird, shot from the three, 83% or something like that, stat wise. I just feel like Larry Bird was one of the ones that definitely started the 3-point era. Basically, and just look at it, the 3-point shootout video. But anyway, with the point I'm getting to, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson really had geared more to individuals wanting to just score more. With that influence, I don't feel like they directly did it. I just feel like it happened unintentionally because they were just doing what they were doing to win, going against LeBron and stuff like that in the finals. But I do like the concept of back then in Larry Bird and Magic Johnson era of doing anything to win rather than just worrying about scoring. Comment down below how you feel. Would you rather would you rather do you gear more to like an NBA of players more so worrying about scoring, or would you rather them doing anything to win? I gave you guys my insight. Comment down below yours as well.
Better. Yeah. And that's why I think that, thank you. We were able to change not only basketball, but we were able to change the NBA too. And so that was great for both of us.
I want to talk about that in a little bit. But so now you guys meet the first time in this summer league tournament, whatever it was. The next time is for the NCAA championship. Is that right? What did that? And it was like a 10-point loss. Am I right, Larry?
Well, it was 10 points. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for the reminder.
It felt more like a 20-point loss. But when you're out there playing and you get started in these games, sometimes you go, uh-oh, these guys are pretty good.
Right.
And I had that feeling at halftime that these guys were too much for us.
Now at the beginning of the game, did you meet Irvin there?
Why?
I said, wow, like, look, we competing. Come on, man. He just told you he competing. He ain't trying to beat nobody.
Do you remember trying to talk to Larry before the game?
Nope.
Yeah. You had learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson. And
the summer
at
league
that time,
joint.
he was going after something I wanted bad, and I was going after something he wanted bad. So we didn't want to talk. We wanted to get it on and see who was the best.
And in terms of basketball, in terms of your career, in terms of your life and championships, what did losing that championship mean to you, and how did it affect you?
Yeah, that's the toughest one I've ever taken because you had all your friends. You're at a college. It's really when you step away from home. I felt in Indiana State they accepted me, brought me in. It was tough, and it's still tough.
Yeah.
But
still tough today.
Yes.
Yeah. And how about you, Magic? What did winning that title mean for you?
Well,
Larry, like, come on now, man.
you just heard him. It's still tough for him.
Hold on, do that again.
You just heard him. It's still tough for him.
Oh, you just heard him. It's still tough for him. What else you gonna say? He won.
That's cool.
He got the glory.
Then you go to Los Angeles, you go to Boston relatively in the same time frame, and your careers in the NBA take off, and the rivalry is cemented or begun anew. And then there's somebody says, we're going to sell shoes. We got a Larry Bird shoe and we got a Magic Johnson shoe. Let's get these guys together and we'll shoot a thing. And you did want to do it, didn't want to do it?
Well, I wanted to do it because we won the championship that year and we beat Magic. So
yeah,
I was up for
feeling pretty good. All right. Yep. And then Magic, how did you?
I did not want to go to.
Of course. Now he lost. It's funny how the roles reverse, but they still have the same mindsets. One, he didn't want to talk to him. He wanted to get it on in the NCAA. And now then one beats him in the finals. Then the other one, like, I do not want to get it on with no shoe. No, I do not want to deal with no business endeavors dealing with selling a shoe with this guy who just beat me, you know what I'm saying, this year.
Indiana
in the final.
They won the championship. I'm going to his home too. And I protested. I didn't want to go.
Yeah. But the story is that you were reluctant to do it, and you said, okay, if you can get Magic.
It's called negotiating, Dave.
Yeah. Well, you prevailed because you said, if you can get him here, we'll do it in my backyard on literally your home court, and that's what happened. Now, and he shows up. What was you when you saw him? Were you leery? Were you worried about he's coming into my house, into my yard?
Well, I had my brothers there, and I was going to fight him.
To fight him.
And if I couldn't whip him, surely one of them could.
Yeah.
No, I felt, my mom was pretty good about it. She was all excited. My brothers were excited. They love Magic. The town was excited about having him come in our hometown. And, come from a small town, it's pretty big news.
French Lick.
And they must be from the town over.
They must be from the town over. Bird got some humor, man.
But he came in and we shot this commercial.
I guess I'm getting a little glimpse as a 1999 baby or a 99 baby of how it was and him the trash talking that I react to a lot back then when he played.
Lunch and it was neat. It was pretty neat.
But that, according to the documentary, that was the beginning of a friendship. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's accurate. we really didn't say too much once I arrived. We actually had never really interacted with each other. So we got to the basketball court. We shot the first half of the commercial. Then it was lunch break. And so I'm going to my trailer thinking I'm going to eat alone and he's going to go. He said, no, Irvin, come on up. My mom fixed lunch at the house. So I was like, uh-oh. All right. But I said, okay, cool. So we rode up, and Larry has this beautiful, his house is beautiful, great acres and everything. I mean, green grass, it was unbelievable. So we go up to the house, and his mom just greeted me at the door with a big hug. And that sort of just calmed me down. I said, wow.
Ain't nothing like a mom's hug. Come on now.
I'm getting a mom bird hug like my mother would hug me, you know? Yeah. And so then she told me I was like her favorite player, and I said, okay.
Yeah, that could probably make it worse again and make them be antsy again, even though she just calmed them down. So I wonder how Bird took to that. That's curious.
It gets worse and worse.
So now I'm really sitting in the seat now. I'm waiting for lunch now because I feel good. But at the end of the day, what happened was we found out we were much alike. Midwest boys, grew up poor, hardworking families, had the same values. And I got to know Larry, the man, and he got to know Irvin, the man.
Now, did things change for you that day as well?
Yeah, you know, I've always respected my opponents and him greatly because of the fact that he was so good. You know, everybody always said there's a hate element to it, and there never was a hate. It's just that I had so much respect for
It's competition at its finest point, isn't it?
Iron sharpen iron, man.
and you never let your guard down. And, you know, he was so good. And I was trying to, you know, I used to have this thing in my head in the summer. I go shoot 700 jump shots that day, and I get ready to leave, and I go, God, I know he's shooting 800. And it dropped me back out there. So it was mind games, too. But I always respected
Mind games, but keeps you on the edge, like he said.
his teammates. And we had great teams. And it's just unfortunate that we got cheated in a lot of them games in the playoffs.
Cheated.
Cheated.
I think talking about that episode where you guys did the commercial and you had lunch and so forth, I think I remember from the documentary that said that you really liked Irvin. You were less fond of Magic. Is that correct? And
I bet. I'll say the same thing from a competitive standpoint. Shoot. Magic over here beat me. I'd rather deal with Irvin. You know, we just chopping it up and eating a sandwich, eating some lunch, you know what I'm saying? Getting the grub going on.
Well, Irvin the man's one thing, but Irvin the basketball player, I had a little problem with him. It ended, of course, 20 years ago, but there for, God, what? Well, I can't really say what I think, but...
Now, when you hear that about you, that he liked Irvin, didn't like Magic, how do you interpret that? How do you feel about that? You know what he's talking about.
It made me feel good. David, hey, I was a thorn in his side.
Right.
You know, I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be, go out there to kick his butt. That's what my job was. And his job was to kick mine, you know. And so I didn't want Larry to like me. He didn't have to like me, but, you know, we both respected each other.
And that leads to a question, family. Would you rather be liked or respected? I've always said be respected, because if you just be liked, that's temporary. Someone can like you for a certain thing and then don't like you for another thing. Someone can like you for a certain point of time and then don't like you no more. But as far as respect comes when they treat you the same way they want to be treated. That's respect, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of the circumstance. You got two different people.
Larry could beat me. If I made mistakes, if we didn't play our best game, Larry made me have sleepless nights, right? No, he did. He had me, because I was scared to death that I knew he could beat me. Right. And so that's what a great player does to you, that you have to go up against. And not only was he great, the Celtics were great. So, and I was the same way, hopefully, you know, in his mind, when he went to sleep.
Now, I like how he said the Celtics was great, because thank you guys for informing me. The Celtics was loaded when Larry Bird came along as well.
About me, because I was thinking about him when I went to sleep. That was for sure.
It's let's forget everything else. Forget the statistics, forget the friendship, how it evolved, the teams. Do you now, in your heart, believe you're the better player?
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Letterman is stirring up stuff in a pot, boy. It's taking a long time to answer that one.
Actually, I've always said that I go by success, and he's won more championships, so I give him the nod.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta give it to him, man. Respect. Respect when respect is due.
Gentlemanly. Magic, same question to you. Is Larry the better player?
I've always said that Larry was the better player.
Really?
Because he could do more, shoot from the outside, all those type of things. You know, to us, really, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because what matters to me is that I played against the best. I got to know the man, Larry Bird, and that we got this friendship right now.
Right.
That's all that matters, because the fans are going to say, hey, Larry Bird was my man. Just like I run into a lot of Celtic fans.
Yeah.
You know, I used to hate you. You know?
I get that all the time.
I get that all the time, right? And so, but they say, I hated the Lakers, but why do we love Magic?
Yeah.
You know? And so, but what matters is that we're friends now. We can do so many things together. I still will hate him now. If we play checkers or basketball right now, then both of us are changing to that
I wonder if they still play basketball here and there. I'd be curious.
players that we used to be,
around.
because we still want to beat each other.
You think you were the better player, seriously, don't you?
He was the better forward, and I was the better guard.
Oh, there you go. That's a perfect
yeah.
way of handling it.
Way to handle that. Position-wise, good answer. The dodge it at the
Tell
same
us,
time.
there's this documentary is, I think, the best sports documentary I've ever seen. And it's not because of anything other than you two gentlemen and who you are, the kind of men you guys are. And one of the points that is very, well, when you have your press conference and announce that you have HIV, the infection, your reaction and your reaction, tell us about your feelings.
Well, my feeling was the first time, you know, I told Lon, my agent, I said, we got to call Larry. And I said, I want to tell him myself. And so I want to talk to him. Well, actually, we couldn't get a hold of him. Then Lon told him, and then Larry wanted to talk to me. Right. And so we were able to talk. And the best feeling, David, is when a friend supports you. And this young man came and supported me. That's what it's all about. Forget the sports, forget the championships, the MVP. He came to my side and supported me, and I'll never forget that. And that's the type of man Larry Bird is.
See, eventually it comes a humanly perspective that takes over. I always say, it don't matter what your accolades is, it don't matter what you've done career-wise, your character is what keeps you. And obviously Larry Bird stands for something and is a great individual.
It's not, well.
To be clear.
Because it comes a point in time where real life things happen, regardless if they're great legends when it comes to basketball, but outside of basketball, they're still people, humans. And it was unfortunate, but he had a great person.
Gladly, it's not the way it was in those days. In those days, if you heard anything having to do with this, it seemed like an immediate death sentence.
Exactly.
And gladly, like I say, medical treatment has progressed where it's not that at all. But that's must have been what you were thinking.
Yeah, we always heard 9 years.
Right.
But I remember the day we had a game that night. I always took a nap in the afternoon. My wife woke me up and said, hey, Lon Rosen called. You need to call Magic. So when I heard that, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I can remember back, my father died, and my heart just sort of, you know, he fluttered a little bit. When I heard about Magic, it's just like I had no energy. I didn't want to, it's the first time I can ever remember not wanting to play basketball. And it had a pit in my stomach for days after. even after I talked to him, because in my mind, 9 or 10 years, he's going to be gone. And, we had the Olympics, down the road. We had things we wanted to accomplish, but it's, hey, man, here he is.
Yeah, happily things didn't work out the way we feared. Now, I mentioned we talk about it in the introduction. The NBA changed professional basketball. Give us a couple of ideas how the game has changed because of you guys' career.
Well, I think that, the games were tape delayed when Larry and I came into championships. And I remember when we beat the 76ers when I was a rookie, the games came on at 11:30 at night. And so to put now the championships in prime time, the salaries that people make, I mean, we affected a lot of the change that is happening. And then Michael Jordan came in right after us and took it to another level as well. And
Do you guys see kids playing in the league now? They say, oh, geez, this is the way I would have approached it? Or is that the game has changed so much that your style of play doesn't exist or it can't exist?
I feel like their style of play is always going to revolve and circulate. Just like history repeats itself, their gameplay, eventually you're going to see a smear mirror or maybe a mirror of it in some way, shape, or form. Comment down below, family. Do you agree or do you agree not? They're legends. They created a change in the right direction for the NBA, and they also done impactful things. I mean, you still see Larry Bird's leftover hook shot here once in a while. You see, you know what I'm saying?
It can exist. I mean, there's not many 6'9" point guards out there.
Yeah.
But I think what I see is there's a lot of kids come out of the league and take it for granted, but there's also a lot of kids come out of the league that want to get better every day, and they do the work necessary to do better and better, and they care about their communities, and they care about their team. I see a lot of that. When I first came to the league, I didn't see hardly any of that.
Right.
I think what me and Irvin did when we came in, people started watching basketball again. And our David Stern, which was our
You
commissioner,
got to give him clap for that, man.
first year came in and just took us to another level. Then you got to remember Jordan, Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, John Stockton, all of us sort of came in. They came in a couple years after us. The league got good right away. So we were just happy. We didn't know any of that was going on. We just wanted to play and compete. Right. But in '84, it changed.
Yeah. But also we made passing fashionable.
That is true, and that's still, you see what I'm saying, circulates today. LeBron with the back flashy pass, Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? That'd be highlights more so now than then.
Well, I think from a fan's standpoint, from a guy from Indiana who grew up loving and watching high school, college basketball and trying to play and so forth, the great legacy that the two of you leave is a demonstration of how to be a guy, just how to be guys, and that's invaluable.
Yeah.
It's I know what you're thinking at home. You're thinking to yourself, geez, just like Dave and Leno.
He was like, okay, well, that's it, family. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And to that note, family, spread that peace, love, and positivity, and let the love supersede the hate. On that note, family, peace. Until next time, as always.